On Sunday, former Israeli hostage Schlommo Mansor was buried after his body was returned from Gaza as part of a hostage deal with Hamas. Thousands of Israelis attended his funeral, carrying Israeli flags and yellow flags to show support for the hostages still held by Hamas. Mansor was 85 years old and the oldest hostage taken. He was kidnapped on October 7th from his home in Kibbutz Kisphim. The attackers handcuffed him and took him away. His wife, Maisel, begged for her life and was able to escape. On Sunday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke at the start of a government meeting about Israel's decision to block all goods and supplies from entering Gaza. This decision came after Hamas rejected a ceasefire extension proposed by U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff. Netanyahu said that a security discussion was held the night before. It included the Minister of Defense, coalition leaders, senior security officials, and the Israeli negotiating team. At the end of the meeting, they decided to accept Witkoff's plan for a temporary ceasefire during Ramadan and Passover. "We are fully coordinating with President Trump and his team," Netanyahu said. He also shared updated information on the hostages. According to Israel, Hamas is holding 59 hostages. Up to 24 are believed to be alive, while at least 35 are dead. "We are not giving up on any of them, and we are determined to bring them all home," he said. Under the plan, half of the hostages would be released on the first day of the ceasefire. If an agreement is reached at the end of the ceasefire, the rest would be released. Netanyahu explained that Witkoff made this proposal because Israel and Hamas could not agree on the second phase of the current deal. Witkoff described his plan as a way to keep negotiations going, and Israel is ready for it. Addressing claims that Israel had broken agreements, Netanyahu said, "Israel is not in violation, while Hamas has violated the Phase 1 agreement time and time again." He added that the original deal allowed Israel to resume fighting after 42 days if negotiations failed. This condition had been supported by a side letter from the previous U.S. administration and has now received backing from the Trump administration. Israeli surfer Anat Lilier will not represent Israel during the competition in Morocco. The Israeli surfer's media representative and the Israeli Surfing Association stated Sunday that she was asked to maintain discretion. Therefore, unlike all the other surfers in the international competition in Morocco, she could not compete under the Israeli flag, as can also be seen on the competition website and the World Surfing Association (WSL) website. In that competition, Lilier won third place. Security considerations about possible terrorist attack against the competition organizers and the surfer were also part of the decision. Under Lilier's name, the inscription "World" appears instead of Israel. Lilier, the Olympic skier for the Israeli team and Maccabi Tel Aviv, finished third in the European Tour competition, which concluded last week in Morocco. On Saturday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that he had used emergency powers to quickly send $4 billion in military aid to Israel. He praised the strong relationship between Israel and the U.S. under President Donald Trump. Rubio said this decision reverses the Biden administration's previous restrictions, which had blocked certain weapons and ammunition from reaching Israel. He stated that Israel has no greater ally in the White House than President Trump. He also highlighted that the Trump administration has approved nearly $12 billion in military sales to Israel. He explained that this decision follows Trump's removal of a Biden-era rule that had placed conditions on military aid to Israel, even as the country was fighting threats from Iran and terrorist groups. Recently, Trump confirmed that he had approved the delivery of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. Many things that were ordered and paid for by Israel, but not sent by Biden, are now on their way. Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform. In early May, the news outlet Axios reported that Biden had stopped a planned weapons shipment to Israel. The White House later confirmed it had blocked the shipment because the U.S. opposed an Israeli attack on the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. The next day, Biden warned that he would stop American arms deliveries if Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launched a large-scale invasion of Rafah. A 42-day ceasefire and hostage deal ended on March 1st. Now, Egyptian mediators have made a new proposal. They suggest that Hamas should release 3 living hostages and return the bodies of 3 who have died. In exchange, the ceasefire would be extended for 2 more weeks. Israel has said it is ready to follow a new plan from U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. This proposal would last through Ramadan and Passover. Under the plan, on the first day, half of the living hostages and some of the deceased hostages' remains would be released. If both sides agree to a permanent ceasefire, the rest of the hostages, both living and deceased, would be released at the end of the deal.